Welcome back to Power Play. I'm here with our front bench, Sharon Carr, Jamie Ellerton, Carl Belanger, and Hannah Thibodeau. I wanted to get your take also, Sharon, I'll start with you on sort of what this government looks like moving forward. 3 seats shy of a majority, but also a massive challenge in Donald Trump, who spoke about Mark Carney today. The Prime Minister says they're going to meet within the next week. The Prime Minister's office does not have as specific a date, but said it would be in the near future. Like, how fast does this turn to, you know, a proof point on the pitch Carney made during the campaign, which is like, I'm the guy to settle this whole thing? How fast do Canadians need to see action on that?
I think it's going to be fast. Now, I would say it's only been, I'm trying to keep track of time of when the election ended. I probably have still not slept more than an hour or two since. But I would say everyone's getting onboarded. MPs are getting their trainings. All that stuff is happening next week. And I think once there's a bit of an infrastructure set up, we will see some more movement. I think the U.S. and Donald Trump is going to be priority numero uno for Mark Carney, and that's going to be whether he's out there fairly soon. We just have to remember that they have to get staffed up and do all of these things, and it's going to be the first probably and the biggest thing that he needs to get done while he's in government. So I think they're going to tread it very carefully. Now, everything that we've heard, I know in the last couple of days and leading up to the campaign, we heard a bit more of Donald Trump pipe in with a bit of the 51st state rhetoric. But what we did notice was there wasn't that angry, menacing tone that came with it before when he was talking about it when it was Prime Minister Trudeau. So I think it's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. Soon enough, we're going to have a cabinet put in place. And Mark Carney, as Prime Minister, is going to have to show how he's different from the previous administration.
How important, Jamie, do you think that is? I think a lot of people are looking to see how he demarcates himself from the Trudeau years.
Yeah, frankly, I think Mark Carney's biggest appeal here is that he's been in a lot of these boardrooms and had a lot of these meetings. And I think when Canadians were looking at who they wanted to lead on this Friday, people who voted for Mark Carney really saw appeal there as kind of a tested hand at the wheel. I think when you look at how unpredictable Donald Trump is, I still don't think it's even clear to Mark Carney himself what exactly it is we're negotiating and what it's going to be. He made international headlines early in the campaign when he said the relationship as we know it is over. And so I think on the one hand, it is, I think, probably going to be a bit more protracted than perhaps some Liberals might hope it's going to be. I think he's going to have to go in there and actually see what it is actually being negotiated, what's on the table and what's there. I think Prime Minister Carney is probably going to lead the efforts for whatever goes from the PMO and the PM to the White House and President Trump himself. But I think there's also a case to be made for what now this kind of Team Canada strategy looks like. Is there a Gary Doer type person who can go be an ambassador in Washington and really work the political aspect of Washington outside of the White House and the broader administration to really advance Canada's interests? That probably means it's someone from a conservative pedigree, if you're taking the Gary Doer example, to go and be that face for Canada while he manages Donald Trump itself. But I think there's going to be an incredible amount of uncertainty here, and I still don't think we even know what it is that's actually being negotiated.
Carl, your thoughts on how heavily scrutinized this meeting will be?
I mean, the election was about that. So it will be. It will be scrutinized, and Canadians, won't get to see the actual result of all of this for a while, but they may be quick to judge. Like, Mark Carney is under pressure right now to try to solve this as fast as possible. Cannot drag on forever, and so that's why he probably just ended up with a minority on during the election, because Canadians were not sure he was going to be able to deliver results on that, and of course, can blame him. Like, Donald Trump is so unpredictable that I wouldn't put too much money on the capacity of anyone to sway in any way, shape, or form, or to wake up the next day to say, well, that deal I negotiated yesterday is the worst ever. He's done that. So, who knows where that's going to lead us.
But it's a good point, because I think there is an appetite to see a demonstrable action on the part of the Prime Minister, who promised he could do so during the campaign, Hannah. But at the same time, the reality is, goodness only knows what that means with Trump.
Well, and that's the thing. As a communications expert, it's not going to just be how he responds to what Donald Trump says in the Oval Office, in those 2 chairs. It's going to be every move that Mr. Carney makes while he's there. We saw the handshake with Mr. Trudeau when he was there at one point in time, too. Everything will be scrutinized. He is in front of the cameras now. This is different than being in a boardroom. And Mr. Trump as everybody is saying, is extremely volatile. When he's sitting in those two chairs at the front of the room with the president, he cannot be drawn in by any of the people sitting on those sofas off to the side, like a J.D. Vance, like anyone else who will be sitting there. He has to be very careful about what he says. He can't look too chummy with the president as well. And he has to ensure that Canadians feel comfortable that when he goes down to meet with the president, that he has control of this. And it's a big ask. And that is what that's what he's been fighting for the past 35 days. And now the proof will be in the pudding.
I got to leave it there. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. Our front bench, Sharon Carr, Jamie Ellerton, Carl Bélanger, and Hannah Thibodeau.